Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering? Here's your look at the Kidrobot. This is the Pinky and the Brain collectible vinyl figure. If you grew up in the 90s, then you definitely remember Pinky and the Brain. The cartoon duo originally appeared as part of the hit show Animaniacs, but their nightly plans for world domination took hold as they got their own Pinky and the Brain series in 1995 and became superstars. Kidrobot has teamed up with WB for a new collection, and their first piece drops, the Pinky and the Brain vinyl art figure. Before we start designing our plans to take over the world, we'll talk about that later. First thing we're going to do, though, is figure out just how tall the Pinky and the Brain art vinyl statue stands. While I'm doing this, I'd like to send out a big thank you to the folks over at Kidrobot who made this review possible by sending this sample my way. If you're a big fan of Pinky and the Brain and would like to maybe add this one to your collection, you can head on over to www.kidrobot.com. And not only can you pick up this piece for yourself, but you can also check out their vast array of vinyl art pieces and blind box collectibles. Pinky and the Brain stands at 7.2 inches in height, and for those that use the metric system, the measurements of centimeters, then get a good gander at this: 18.4, almost 18.5 centimeters tall. Looking at the troublemaking duo, first right out the gate, I want to commend Kidrobot for the clever use of being able to suspend the two characters off the ground by only the use of Pinky's tail. This has all been done in PVC plastic, so it's generally light anyways. There's not a lot to have to hold them up, but very smart the way that they've done that. As you can see, it forms the somewhat letter C, and between that and his one standalone foot, it's more than enough to keep the two off the ground. Well, first look at Pinky. I was always a big fan of Pinky myself. You can see he's gone so crazy, in fact, stark raving mad, that they've wrapped him up in a straitjacket. The straitjacket has been done in a slightly more creamier color than the white of the coloring of Pinky and both Brain. You can also see that he's got the little buckle straps there of the belts that are keeping him confined. And while he's doing that the whole time, poor Pinky's tail, poor Pinky's tongue, is being pulled by Brain. That must be painful, but I'm sure he doesn't feel it because Pinky's not the brightest. He's not the brightest light bulb in the box. As you can see there, he's very accurate to the way he looks in the cartoon. I love the bright colors that they used for him. I'm guessing that the color that they used for the actual PVC plastic was probably white, as it doesn't appear that this was painted in any way. Though still, yes, the ears are painted, the eyes are painted that more frosted blue color, and he has a big red nose as well. Something that you don't see from this side of things, but if you flip it around to the other side, they went as far as to put the little light reflection there off of Pinky's nose. That's a nice little touch as well. I really like Pinky, but having Brain, of course, kind of hovering, well, not hovering, but he's certainly almost seeming as if he's riding him, it seems. As you can see, it looks like he's about to utter perhaps the secrets for how he's going to conquer the world this episode. Well, we know that never seems to be the case. But the way he's talking, or the way he's looking at least, it kind of looks like he's talking towards the screen. He's not talking actually to Pinky. It's kind of clever the way they've broken that wall by kind of introducing us, the viewing audience. Now, unlike Pinky, whose eyes are blue, Brain's eyes are more of a light pink color. That matches the same color that he actually has also for his tongue. He has no reflection of light on his nose, though still the red that they used is shiny enough that the light is bouncing off of it as well. Nice little touches of detail are the noted lightning bolt tail that is known for the back on Brain's body. And of course, as with every other episode it seems, he's always got blueprints or schematics or plans for how he's going to conquer the world. There's no detailing on it, but you can still see it's been wrapped and rolled up. So I guess it's up to us later on to find out what that plan was, as certainly from the outside, there's no secrets to be revealed. It's a generally light statue. Again, going back to the point that this is made of PVC plastic, generally a lot of Kidrobot releases are made of PVC plastic. And because of that, it's generally quite light. It's easy to pick up and move to a different location. And because it's also light, it means that they can still pull off that successful look that I like really so much by having the both of them being lifted off the ground by only Pinky's one foot, and of course the wrapped around Pinky's tail as well. Now, admittingly, I am old. Just admitting that now. Well, I am old and I don't always recall the things and I can do the math in my head, but I think when Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain were around, I feel like I was in the early years of high school. Yet still that, I'm not ashamed to admit that I would come home after school and of course watch Pinky and the Brain on Warner Brothers, and I would be watching that, I think it was on Fox back in the day. Both that and the original Tiny Toon Adventures were really staples for me growing up, even though, again, I was a little bit older into my years than perhaps maybe some of the people that were watching Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs when they were really, really young. There was still enough humor I found in the shows that it would appeal to older audiences as well. It didn't feel like a show that was always geared towards kids. And Pinky and the Brain certainly was a standout. Those two, that pair, that duo, certainly did stand out in Animaniacs. It was nice to see that they did get their standalone show, although I don't recall it lasting very long at all. Despite that, Kidrobot has presented very nicely. The troublesome duo, as you can see, looking like they're going to be plotting for world domination, although I don't think Pinky's going to be doing all that much. Wrapped up in a straitjacket, he's sort of just there, as Brain is reading off, and to us, the viewing audience as well, reading off what plans he has to conquer the world for this episode. Never works, really, does it? A nice looking statue, I have to admit. There's a lot of things to look at this, a lot to feast your eyes on. And certainly, again, if you're in the market of picking this one up for yourself, you can head on over to kidrobot.com, pick this one up for yourself, and check out the other collectibles that they have on their site as well. A big thank you to the folks over at Kidrobot, who of course provided the sample that we had a look at in this review. If you're a big fan of the channel and liking the content that you're seeing so far, don't worry, there's still a lot more coming your way. But let's just say you haven't yet had the chance to do it. Consider the idea of turning the subscription button on. I think it's hitting subscribe button. I think that's how it works. Producer Tony is looking down, just shaking his head. If you hit that subscribe button down below, see, there you go, and turn on that bell notification and stay tuned to this channel Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when you're going to be finding new videos popping up on this channel. There's definitely going to be a lot more coming your way. We're also going to be looking at some other Kidrobot pieces. So if you're a big fan of Kidrobot, stay tuned and keep your peepers peeled because there's going to be a lot coming your way. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.